Hey everybody, welcome back to Edgington, the city on the edge, here on dawn of day 55. Could you believe we've ever gotten this far? Wow. So everybody's waking up for the most part. Who do we have over here? Yeah, Rafe is just taking a nap there. I think that's because we're changing over the guard very soon. We did have a mild run-in with a few skeletons. So there's 3 of them over there. There's another 2 over here, and 2 over here, but by and large, we're okay there. The 2 that are there are actually underground, so we don't need to worry about them at all. I don't think they're going to cause a fuss. We've got our patrols running quite smoothly right now. We should be seeing our fledgling, it has to be said, midway patrols going along quite happily. We've got wood coming out here. Where are you off to then, Margaret? Way down here, apparently. Drip has leveled up. Hooray! No, I don't quite make out where you're headed for. Where are you? Chopping tree. Where? What tree? Which tree? Ah, that tree. Oh, this is part of the selection that was just burned, I think. Yeah, so we selected a few of those for clearing up. Hopefully, you're not gonna get in a run-in with these skellybobs. I think you'll be alright, though. If nothing else, you should be able to outrun them quite happily, so kind of okay with that. Right. So, there's a couple of names on my list right now, so if we get a couple of people, I'll need some more names. But the last name on that list is, in fact, Papercraftian. I did speak with Paper and confirm that indeed they would like to be returned to the settlement, but only if they are at the bottom of the list so that everyone else gets a chance that's already waiting. Which is fair and reasonable, I would say. And yeah, looks like the skeletons are giving Margaret a wide berth, no problem. Might as well mark these things for gathering. They're not going to give us very much, but we might as well mark them for that. Here we go. Good. And the other 2 are headed this way, which means they're going to hit our road, so we shouldn't have an issue there. They're also going to hit it way past where we're doing any building work, so that's not a problem either. Good. Ha. And we actually had to add another food barrel over the course of last night because our storage capacities are getting kind of whacked. Oh dear. So I have scheduled this whole section to be worn away as quick as we can so that I can put in a bunch more of these stockpiles. So let's see, putting stockpile. Plunk 1 there. Because that way we can get our mining back up and running quite happily. Everything else can wait a bit. Wheat is the exception. I have stopped wheat production. The farms for that aren't going to be resown anytime soon. All good for me, I'd say. How are we for brick free? We have some on the list. We have not begun to craft it as yet. Okay. But once we do, we should have no worries getting that out. Oh, and Luna has crafted a bronze ingot. Hooray! That's right. Do we have any... We're gonna need more armor, but let's just try and get the bronze and stuff in there. Ideally, we want that to be steel, though. It's gonna take us a while for that to happen. But, anyways, on to the subject of the day, since I'm, already 4 minutes in, jeez. It's unusual for me to dilly-dally that much. So the topic this time around, I asked on my public Discord server, which you can find a link to in the description of this video. I might make a more, definitive video to say, hey, I've got a Discord now. And wow, that is some funky lighting on you. Criminy. And Margaret's just gonna walk through, 3 different skeletons. And I don't think any of them are actually going to, Oh no, skeleton infantry has finally spotted, and it is... Yeah, it's the one with the funky rendering. That's fine. Where is our nearest patrolman? Are you both over here? No. So we've got Penguin over here, who will eventually be rejoined by Paper. Paper the second, if you will. Oh, you're heading on the way back. So Garrett, our level 4 infantry, our sort of crossover patrol. should be able to handle this. Assuming Margaret doesn't try and take it on himself. Anyways, our topic for today, after I asked my Discord for suggestions, is the saga of the PokeCare posts. So for those of you who don't know, I am on Tumblr. Actually, that's where a large portion of my fandom is, so that's where I tend to hang out a lot. And something that happened a few months ago, I think just before Christmas or shortly after it, one or two, I made a post about the proper way to pick up a Bulbasaur without harming it and providing proper support and such, and then I made a few more posts about how to take care of your Bulbasaur after that. And then somebody sent me a message asking how to take care of a different Pokemon. I forget exactly which Pokemon started it off, but it was basically along the lines of, we know how much you know about taking care of Bulbasaurs, but what about this? And, oh dear, Bronzepick has broken. Ooh, I have to get one of those on the listings then. Let's have a couple, in fact. And that just sort of developed. So people would send me messages asking about other kinds of Pokemon that I could potentially describe how you take... Like, what's the proper procedure for taking care of a Turtwig, or an Umbreon, or... what to do if an Abra is teleporting you out of school very often and disruptively. That kind of thing. So, it's become now this sort of thing where I'm doing all of this, and then just sort of on the side, I guess, some kind of Pokemon professor? I don't know, Stone Hammer is broken. How are we for Stone Hammers? Oh, we're fine. Perfectly fine. Okay, Rafe, looks like you're up. What are you packing? You're packing one of our bronze glaives. You should be able to handle a few skeletons. They're not going to be a problem for you, I'm certain. Come on, deal with the skeleton. Deal with the skeleton. Seriously? Margaret, you're bold, but please no. Rafe, get back here. Come on. I don't know what it is exactly you think you're doing, but come on. Okay, Margaret's taking a little bit of a nibble there. Fortunately, contagion is not a thing that exists here. What are you trying to do? Oh, you're gathering more armor. Ah, right. I see. Well, that guy's lost interest in Margaret, so hey, there's that. But yeah, apparently I'm some kind of Pokemon professor. I prefer to think of it as I'm living in a Pokemon world, and I'm just that guy on, or that person, I should say, on a, or like some kind of message board for pets. And I just happen to be like one of the more knowledgeable people there, like. So I just happen to, like, I just have a fair bit of knowledge. I've been reading like all of these different magazines about how best to take care of your Pokemon and all that. And is that a dead wolf or a live one? Looks to be dead. Okay, gather resources. Where's Saw at? Oh yeah, you're our third lonely skeleton. You're fine. Okay, Aku, are you fully kitted? You appear to be fully kitted. Great, you don't have a shield, but we can deal without a shield. Right. And where have our builders gone? Like, I don't see the... Oh, Wolfrun's level up. Hooray. Skeletal infantry spotted by Rafe. I am not the least bit concerned, as long as somebody goes and murders. Yep, dead. And... yeah, you took a little nibble there, but yo, you're fine. No worries there. So Aku and Rafe both took somebody out. Grand. Gather resources. Gather resources. We should have... yeah, we've got one more there and one more over here. Another one spotted by Rafe. Shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, I've just been like reading a whole bunch of like pet care magazines and documents and textbooks and all sorts, so I happen to have like more knowledge than one might consider to be usual in terms of taking care of Pokemon. Like, that's the way that I look at it. But other people think I'm a professor somewhere. I've kept it tremendously ambiguous of like what part of the Pokemon world I'm from. I think the most I've stated is that I'm just from the north. I'm from up north, and that's it. But, it's a fun old game. Most of the time, I just like think of, is there an animal similar to this Pokemon? Because a lot of the Pokemon are sort of like based on cats and dogs and various other forms of existing wildlife, and the others are way out there. So I try to think, okay, is there an analog that I can use as a reference here and actually look up things? And I do a fair bit of research as it strangely happens, in that I go on Bulbapedia and Aqua's level up. Hooray! I go on Bulbapedia and I actually look up all of the different Pokedex entries to try and get a grounding on a given Pokemon, because believe it or not, I don't actually know all that much about Pokemon. Like, I played Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, and Pokemon Sapphire, I think it was. And that was it. And I couldn't name almost any of the Pokemon in Sapphire even today, so I am not the man... Oop, Merchant has arrived. Has he really? Yes, he has. Or he is. Or he shall be soon. Where's Aeneas? Clover, Wolfram, Aeneas, there you are. Okay, could you become our trader? Thank you. So, I actually don't know all that much about Pokemon, so I do actually research them to make sure I get things right. So I look them up, what do they look like, what's their morphology, is there any notes on their behavior, are there any special tidbits inside of their Pokedex entries? So I got a note from somebody asking how to take care of their Absol. So I looked it up, and the Pokedex entry says that they are considered to be omens of doom, because they're very sensitive to, like, micro-earthquakes and other sort of changes in atmospheric pressure and stuff that sort of tell a lot of animals something nasty is en route. So I thought, like, okay, firstly, I'll be surprised if you actually have seen one. And then it was like, okay, but assuming you have, well, they mostly live in, like, mountainous areas away from humans. But they're mostly like this, this, and this, and they might like this, this, and that. And I think somebody got snarky and asked me how to take care of Arceus. And for those of you who don't know, Arceus is basically God. Arceus is the guy that created, like, Pokemon and created the universe and set everything in motion. No, bronze pickaxe broken. Really, I'm glad I made two. I hope I made two. Do I have a spare on the list here? I do not. Let's make another. We have 7 bronze. We can manage it. Let's make another 2, in fact. And let's get back to crafting some steel. We have 11 iron. We should be able to manage this. We're not using iron for anything else, so we want to get steel so that we can make more steel weapons and armor. That's what we're interested in. And let's set down a few more stockpiles down here. Just roll around this. Not gonna fit there at all. There. Here. Nope, not fitting there. Let's go the other way. There we go. Play. Good. That should be fine and dandy. But yeah, let me think. What other, like, fun asks have I got about Pokemon? I did get some... I got, like, 30 suggestions in one day when I foolishly asked for suggestions. So, I've got a backlog set, but I love it when people give me little stories to work with. So, the one that I can remember off the top of my head was the Abra one, which was that their Abra kept teleporting them out of school and all sorts. So it's just, well, Abras are known for using teleportation frivolously to teleport away inside of danger, but maybe this particular one is wanting attention. And also, Abra's the juvenile version of their particular family's tree, so maybe they're actually just, like, wanting attention a bunch. So you have to, like, lay down the rules here and tell the Abra, and, like, make sure the Abra understands exactly how to get your attention and what kinds of methods are like, allowed and permissible. And also, it's a little hard to set boundaries with a Pokemon that can teleport at will, so try to, like, not interact with them after you've left the house until you get back, because then they'll know that the front door is a barrier and it's a boundary line and that kind of thing. So they'll start to get this idea, and it's really fun to just sort of speculate. Like, I am writing out of my buttocks in the vast way possible in this kind of, like, saga, but it is so much fun. What other stories have I had? Somebody mentioned that their Sylveon was hugging their body with their bows, because they're an EV evolution that's like very made to be pretty and such, winning contests and stuff. And avoiding the garden. So I suggested, okay, look it up. You're a fairy type. What are fairy types vulnerable to? They're vulnerable to steel types, which you don't tend to see much of anyways. I've more or less headcanoned it that steel types don't tend to show up in suburbia very much, and I tend to think most of these are coming from suburbia. They're also vulnerable to poison types. There's a number of bugs and snake types that are, like, poison types. Maybe one snuck into the garden and is, like... Maybe the bows is like an anxiety response, and they're avoiding the garden because they don't want to get bit again. So maybe, like, have a look there. That's an idea. A really fun one was, I did... Oh, its name escapes me, but there's a very small... Really? I didn't get a single trade? Wow. Cheapskate trader, man. Blimey. Okay, well, back to fishing then, I guess. Sorry to waste your time there. Yeah, so I Joltik, I think is the name. It's like a little tiny bug, and it feeds on static electricity. And I did a post about that, and like, how do you take care of them? And then somebody sent me a follow-up, asking how they coexist with Mareep, who are very much the sheep Pokemon, but they're also like big bundles of static electricity. So I actually had to like decide, okay, it's either a symbiotic relationship or it's a negative relationship, it's parasitic, and I decided ultimately that like, it doesn't strictly hurt the Mareep. The Joltics can like basically use the Mareeps as renewable food supplies, but the Mareep also uses that static electricity to defend itself, so it's technically a parasitic occupation. So you want to make sure that your Mareeps are Joltik free. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun. And then whenever I am completely out of ideas on how to handle something, I just okay, Pokemon are smarter than dogs and cats, so treat them a little bit more like humans. What would you do in this situation? Like, if your adolescent child was doing this thing, what would that indicate of their mindset and whatnot? And that tends to help me out in the end. Okay, just a few more stockpiles down here, I think. Nope, can't do that. Can do that. Can do that. There. There. Can I get one more? I want to try and get one more here. There. There. Okay. That is a metric butt ton of storage space now, so we shouldn't have any more problems with that. Let's also unmark these leftover pieces that we don't care about anymore, because those are all materials that we don't want to dig up anyways. Those are the things that will only give us significantly more value, and that will send even worse things our way. So yay for that. Blue. There we go. Right. Well, it is late morning. Surprised we haven't seen any visitors. We've got 24,000 food here. I expect there'd be something. Let's see. What other fun asks have I got about Pokemon? And the thing is, the weirdest part of this whole thing is I haven't touched Pokemon since, like, even before Pokemon Go. I just sort of... I had this really weird sort of dream/daydream one morning, which was like taking care of your Bulbasaur. And that was sort of the inspiration for the post I started off with, which was how to pick up a Bulbasaur properly, and like what they eat and other things. And then it just sort of snowballed into this sort of phenomenon where I get just tons of people asking me how to take care of their Pokemon. And like Turtwigs, they're basically Bulbasaurs, but they've adapted in they're fulfilling the same niche, but they're in a different environment, which is cold mountains mostly. So they actually get along quite well. Because they're similar, but they're not actually competing for territory, so they don't actually have any reason to be aggressive to one another. Like, if a Bulbasaur is in Turtwig's territory, things are off. If a Turtwig is in Bulbasaur's territory, things are off, but they don't really mind each other. They're sort of like brothers from another mother, if you will. Where are my builders? What are my builders building here? Or not, as the case may be. You just sort of stood here, what's going on? I mean, are we seriously not making any more resources? Oh, you don't have a hammer. Are we out of hammers? We can't be out of hammers, can we? No, we've got 24 stone hammers, so what's going on here? We're making brick free, I presume. Is that what you're up to, Dallas? Crafting brick free. Okay, have we just now gotten around to that? We're out of coal. Oh. Oh, I see what's happened here. Okay, so because this forge uses coal, and we've just used a bunch of coal to make steel, it doesn't actually have any fuel, so the stonemasons weren't able to use it. Oh, and such is my folly. Okay. Well, we fixed that up, and you guys can get to work. Hopefully. Ew. Is there anything on the horizon? Doesn't look like it. Oh, another merchant. Is this one actually going to trade anything, is my next question. Oh, wait, hang on, what was that? Way over there. Oh, that's a chicken. Okay, we're fine. It's just a chicken. 'Tis but a hen. Alright, Aeneas, I'm gonna wait for this guy to actually get closer, so you don't have to waste as much time being a trader. Honestly, you come all this way, you don't buy a single thing. We don't actually have much need of traders, but it's kind of nice for them to actually trade when they get here. I don't know if Aeneas actually gains experience as a trader if they don't. Pretty sure Aeneas does need something. Okay, now you're wandering off. Good. Now you're wandering off to build. Huh. Anyways, that has been the bizarre and adorable saga of my Pokecare posts, which you can find at lyinginbedmon.tumblr.com to there's that look, right? If you're particularly interested in my whims and musings on how to take care of various Pokemon, or if you want to make your own. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time.